Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about vector search. This is something that I've been experimenting with a little bit, and I want to show you this demo to basically explain what it is. Ordinarily, when you search for things in a database, you use exact keyword matches. For instance, this is a data set of different celebrities. Let's say that I search for Adele. I should get Adele back as the search result. And that's okay. That's how regular search works. But let's say that I don't know the exact keyword I want to search for. And a good way to think about this is you want to watch a movie on Netflix. You don't know the exact title of the movie, but you know some characters or you know some contextual information about the movie. And you can provide that in a search bar and you will still get very relevant results. Google also uses this as well. So say for instance that I want to search for Ronaldo in this data set and I don't want to use the keyword Ronaldo, or I don't know the keyword Ronaldo. I could search for like a Portuguese footballer, or I could search for Real Madrid. I could search for Manchester United, which are clubs where he has played that I think will be contextually related to his name. So let's actually try that. So if I write Real Madrid, I don't know if this will work, but ideally it should, depending on the similarity threshold I set. So now we do get Ronaldo, and I didn't use any of his names. The same would work if we if we try to search for space exploration. I think we should get Elon Musk back. Yeah. So this is vector search, right? It basically uses the semantic relationship between words in a multi-dimensional space to give you relevant results based on the search query that you've provided. And what I'm going to do in this tutorial is use Nextjs to rebuild this site that I just demoed for you. So we're going to use Nextjs and we're going to use Supabase, and then we're going to use OpenAI embeddings to convert our data sets to vectors. So let's get started. All right, the first thing I want to do is create my Nextjs project. So let's do npx create next app. I'm going to do at latest, so we use 14, and let's call it vector search. Oh, but I can't type today. Vector search demo. Do that. I'm going to accept all the defaults. Oh, I need to change into the Nextjs. What did I call the project again? I'm not sure I remember. Vector search demo. Then I can open it up in VS Code. And I'm gonna just full screen it and zoom in a bit so it's easier on the eyes. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is basically get rid of all of this default code. And what I want to do is basically start from the scratch. I'm going to put in my UI elements for the search input and to list all the celebrities. So I'm going to paste that in here and just format it a little bit. Cool. So now we've got the handle submit, which would basically submit our search query. We've got the inputs and we've got a listing of all the celebrities that we've got. So let's go ahead and define those. I'm going to do const search term is going to be react.useState. I think I'll just grab useState. And then I'm going to do search results. It's going to be an array. And then after that, I'm going to define the handle submit function. I'm not going to do anything here for now. Handle submit. And handle change. I'm going to do handle change as well. Great. Then we've got a celebrities profile card, which basically is what we've got showing on screen here. Each of these cards is the celebrity profile card. So I'm going to define that up here as well. I'm just going to drop that in here. And we've got a profile card. So I think all the errors we have are now gone. Then I don't know if I should You know what? Let's start this from let's build it up from somewhere, right? I'm going to try to bring in the celebrities data set and we can loop over it and just show how regular search would work, assuming like you wanted to filter an array to show a search result. So let me do that. Let me grab our celebrities data. It's just an array of I think 10 celebrities. I'm gonna paste that in here and I'm just gonna clear that out. So we've got the celebrities data. So instead of searching through our results, we can just go through our celebrities and show each celebrity that gets passed in. Let's see. We've got events. I'm just gonna any these ones for now because we're using TypeScript in this file, so we can get rid of the errors. And let's run this project with npm run dev. Localhost 3000. So I'm gonna reload here. React server component. Cool. Yeah, figured. I'm using a use state, so this needs to be client. Use client. Save that. I think that should do it. Cool. So now we've got our celebrities showing up as we'd expect, except that there's some weird styling issues here. So I'm gonna go to globals and just remove all the other default styles. Save that. Cool. Okay, we're good. So now that I've got that, what I want to do is when someone provides some search query, I'm just going to like filter the array basically and return whatever result that comes back from that. So let's do that. So inside our handle submit, I'm going to set this up. First of all, we need to prevent default. I want to prevent default. And then I'm going to create a new search results variable that will filter through the celebrities array. It's going to be looking for the celebrity's full name. So if you provide their first name or their last name, either one, it will match. And if the result comes back, we update the search results variable we have in state. So now, instead of looping through celebrities, I'm going to loop through search results. So what I'm going to do next is just update the search results array to have all the data in the celebrities array by default, right? So let's, I'm going to use an effect for that. And here, let's do use effect. And this is it. So once the app runs, I'm going to set the value of search results to be celebrities so that we have something showing by default. So let's check back and I'm going to restart and we see that we've got our celebrities showing up. Okay, the last thing we want to do before we start searching is to set up our handle change. I'm just going to do that here. Again, I'm going to do search term is the event.target.value, which is the value that gets provided inside of the search bar. So I think with that, we can actually search for celebrities. So let me try to look for Elon Musk and paste this here. I get Elon Musk. Great. Let's look for Oprah. Cool. So I wanted to do this because I think it's important to see how we would like regularly when I'm doing demos before. This is what I would do, right? Because if you want to search through like a list of products or a list of users or stuff like that, you want to search through maybe using a particular field in the user object or in the product object, right? But now that we've seen like what this would normally look like or how I would usually do this for this like very particular use case, now I want to take it up a notch, right? Let's go and implement vector search into this experience, right? We're going to do that using Supabase and OpenAI API. So let's do that. Okay, so before we dive in, I want to explain the steps that we will take to get to where we want to be. The first thing I want to do is create a function that will post the celebrities data to our Supabase database, right? But I'm going to show you the process of setting up the database. Let me show you the structure of the data. We've got first name, last name, image, age, hobbies and bio, occupation and country of origin. So these fields are what we're going to create in our Supabase table. But we're going to dynamically add a new field to this object, right? We're going to add like embeddings, and this embeddings is going to basically be the vectorized equivalence of each object in the celebrities array, right? I'm going to show you how we do that very soon. But before we do all of that, let's start with setting up our Supabase table. I think that's a good place to start. So let's do app.supabase.com. I already have a table that I'm using here for the previous one that I just demoed. That's this demo table. Okay, so I'm going to use my demos table for this. And in here, I've got a table editor. I want to make a new table. Call this table celebs, like that. Since I already have a celebrities table, I will leave the description. I will not enable row level security. I'm going to get my face out of the way. And then we've got ID created at, so I'm going to add more columns. So these columns will match the same columns that we have in the celebrities array locally. So I think we've got first name, country of origin. Lastly, we've got country of origin. I'm going to make that text as well. Okay, cool. So now we've recreated the structure of the data we have in the celebrities array locally. But the important thing now is we're going to add a new field, a new column here, and that's going to be embeddings. The embeddings column is going to store the vectorized equivalence of each celebrity object. And we have a special type for that. So let's call this embeddings, and the type is going to be vector. See other types. This is new. This is how you basically tell Supabase that you want to store vectors in this column. And something else that I need to show you, if you've not done that, is you need to enable vector on your Supabase account. You need to say, hey, I want to be able to use Supabase vectors, and I will show you how to do that later. But you need to have vectors enabled on your Supabase account. Cool. And now our table is created. So I'm going to move this over here. And what you need to do to enable Supabase to store vectors on your database for you is to go to the table editor, I think on database, and click on extensions. And if you search for vector here, you should, once you toggle this on, Supabase will be able to store vectors for you. So make sure to do this. I missed that when I was making my initial demo, and it took me a while to figure out. Okay, now that we've done that, we have our celebs table. We can basically post our data to this table. So let's go ahead and set that up locally. The first thing I want to do is I'm just going to like put a button here that when you click it is going to post that data to Supabase. So let's do a button and say post data. You can call this whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. I just want to have an on click here that is going to call a function and say post to db, right? Let's create this function. So this is going to be post to DB. It's going to be an async function. And what we want to do here is basically, we're not really posting directly to Supabase here. We're going to paste to our API route, which we haven't created. I think Copilot has the right idea. So it's API/celebrities. So let's create that route. So basically, we're going to post our celebrities data. Instead of data here, we're just going to paste. Instead of data here, we're going to actually, there's no need to take in data since we are doing this here. So basically what we're going to do is just post our celebrities data to this endpoint, right? So I don't need to really do this here. I'm just gonna, post celebrities directly. And then let's create this API route, right? Let's do that. So we come into our app directory, and here I'm going to create a new folder. Let's call it API. And I'm going to create another folder, which will be the name of the route. So this is celebrities. And then following the Nextjs 14 convention, we're going to create a file and call it route.ts. Right. So this is basically going to make this file available at a specified route that we did here. So API/celebrities will post this file. So let me quickly grab that. Okay, so I'm going to paste this file and let's walk through it, right? I'm pulling in this next request and response from Nextjs server. I'm importing OpenAI. We haven't installed that. I'm setting up a bunch of Supabase things. We haven't done that. I'm going to do that in a bit. But after all of that, what happens basically is we get the request body from the client, which is from this button that we've defined here. We get the request body, we destructure out celebrities, and then here we initialize our OpenAI with our OpenAI key. First, we want to generate OpenAI embeddings for each object, and then we make an API call to openai.embeddings.create. I'm using the OpenAI SDK here, but they also have like a direct REST API endpoint you can call if you want to, take that route. You pass in the model and the text you want to embed, and you will get the response. The next thing we want to do is map over the array and do the same thing for each object in that array. So that's what we're doing here. We're calling the generate OpenAI embeddings with each item that we have in the array. And after that, we modify the array to add this embeddings property to it. And the value of this embeddings property is going to be the data we return when we vectorize that object. I hope that makes sense. So what we're doing here then is we post that to our celebs table, and if there's an error, we log that to the console. Otherwise, we send the 200 response. Then we're going to check for errors during insertions, because this is going to perform the operation for each object in the celebrities array. So it's going to individually add them as different items on the table. So if there are any errors, we basically respond and show that error. And that's it. Basically, this is just error checking. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to install the things we need. I'm going to install OpenAI, and I'm going to set up this utility function. So let's do, I'm going to open this and do npm install. Oh no. OpenAI. And then here I'm going to create a new folder. Let's call it utils. And in there, I'm going to create a new file. Let's call it Supabase client.js. Actually, this should be .cs since we are using TypeScript in this project. And what we do here is basically just import create client from Supabase, which we haven't installed. I'm going to install that as well. And then initialize our Supabase client with our Supabase API keys. So let me do npm install Supabase/Supabase.js, and I'm going to create an environment variable. Let's do a .env here, and I'm going to create okay. I think the errors we have in these files are gone. I just want to see when I initialized OpenAI, it's OpenAI API key. Let me just copy this so I don't have any issues with my env file. Okay, so this is as much as I can show on screen when it comes to setting up the environment variables. I'm going to put the actual values off screen. So I have updated my env file with those values. So go ahead and do that if you're following along and provide your own values. And here, the last thing I want to do is actually check if this upload is working as expected. Let me see if I've got this button on screen. I should have a post data button here. So I'm going to inspect. We can keep our eyes on the network tab. And here also, because we're going to get some logs. So let's go down and click on post data. And let's see what happens. This doesn't look okay. I'm going to look at the logs. Internal server error. Cannot read properties of undefined reading map. Oh, so I just ran into an undefined error, and I think what I need to do is I don't have to destructure this out. I'm just going to directly use body here and save. And once again, let's try to do this and see if we get the same. So I was getting 500 errors because of that undefined celebrities.map error. But I'm going to try this again now that and see if we get one or more insertions failed. Okay, it looks like the insertions did work, but maybe one failed. So let's see. Error inserting data new row level security. Okay, that's good because we needed to know that for the table, you need to tell database you don't want to use row level security enabled. I will enable it in production. I have row level security enabled in all my tables for all my projects, but I don't want to have to set it up for this demonstration, so I'm going to disable that. It's going to yell at me that this is not good, this is not a good idea, don't do it. I know, but I'm going to just do it because I will likely delete this table afterwards. So I know. I'm going to go back to my table. I'm going to go to celebs. Now that I've disabled it, it's going to show me a huge warning again that this I shouldn't do that. I understand, but I'm going to try this again. All right, so let's come back here and click on that button again. Post data. I don't see any logs in the console, so I'm guessing it worked. I will check the network tab. Actually, you know what? Let's check directly on Supabase. Aha, so there we go. We've got our data coming in as expected. Currently, if you look at our app, this data is still coming from the celebrities array that we have locally. So I want to pull that in from Supabase instead. So let's go here and do that. Actually, I'm going to delete this celebrities data. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a function. Let's call it fetch celebrities. Cool. And one second. And I'm going to call fetch celebrities here. Great, that's what I want to do. And I'm going to be fetching celebrities from Supabase. And I'm going to be fetching celebrities from Supabase. So let me set that up. Actually, let me see if Copilot knows what I want to do. No, it does not. Then I'm going to paste in the code to fetch from our celebrities data. Actually, it's from our celebs table because we created a new one. And we're going to be ordering the results by first name. So it's going to be in ascending order. We've got Supabase clients. I need to import that. Let's do import Supabase client from our utils file, and that should do it. And then inside our user effects, we fetch celebrities, and when we do that, we update search results as well, and that should update what we have here. So let's save and see if that works as we expect. I'm gonna reload. Yeah, now we are fetching this data from Supabase. Great. So I'm going to get rid of this button. We just don't need it anymore. It has served its purpose. Now, what I want to do then is implement vector search, right? This is what we've been building up to all this time. Vector search, at the moment, if you look at our handle submit function, you see that we're basically iterating over an array that doesn't exist anymore. So let's get rid of this. And what we want to do here is basically call another function, another API route. We're going to post our search query to an API route, and that API route is going to basically perform our vector search. And yeah, let's set that up. Okay, so let me paste this snippet. So first, what we're doing is we're going to trim the search term. Remember, we've got a search term variable in state that we're using to track. Actually, I'm going to delete this function as well. I don't think we need it. We don't need it anymore, but I'm going to leave it in the code base on GitHub if you just want to grab it. But I'm going to remove it for now, so it's not confusing. So first, we grab and trim the search term that we have in state, and we call fetch celebrities if the search term is empty, so that if nothing is provided in the search input, we'll just show you all of the celebrities. And then if the search term is not empty, we are going to call this API route, and we're going to pass in that search term. Basically like what we did before when we posted data to our celebrities API route, just that this time we're sending the search term or the search query, however you call it. Again, we don't have this API route yet, so let's create that. Inside our API, we're going to make a new folder. Let's call it search. And inside search, we're going to make a new file. Again, we're going to call it route.ts. And this is where we receive that search term that is coming from the client and perform all the search operations we want to do. Okay, so I'm going to paste this snippet and let's walk through it. First, we initialize OpenAI like we did before, and we get our Supabase client from our utility file. And here we once again get the body of the request, we get the search query, and if the search query is empty, we return error, the query is empty. Otherwise, we are going to create an OpenAI embedding with the search query, because remember, now we're doing vector search and we're searching against our vector database, so you need to provide a vectorized search query as well. So that's what we do here. Again, we use the ADA 002 model and we pass in the search query and we get the vector embedding back. We get it back in this embedding object, and what we do then is we search Supabase. Again, remember the difference now is we're doing a Supabase client.rpc call, and we're specifying the name of the SQL function that we're calling, and I will show you that in a bit. But then it takes in a couple of parameters. The query embedding, which is this embedding, that's the vectorized search query that we got from OpenAI. The similarity threshold is how much of an exact match do you want the query to be with the results that get returned back. So if you type in like Cristiano Ronaldo in the query and you want to get an exact match of Cristiano Ronaldo, that's like probably 100%, then you can put like 90% match by 0.9, but I use 0.75 sometimes, or 7.7 just to be more exact. And the match count can be 2, can be 3, depending. Like that's basically says how many results do you want to get back, how many celebrities in this case do you want to get back, depending on the similarity threshold. So those are the things that you provide, and we do a couple of error checking, and that's it. And the last piece of the puzzle that I wanted to talk about is this vector search. This is an SQL function that you have to set up on Supabase yourself. Let me show you what it looks like. This is actually the function that performs the vector search. So let's come back to Supabase. And if you come to the SQL editor, you will see some of your queries. If you wanted, you could just create a new query and paste in this function. But I already have a vector search function. I'm just going to reuse that one instead of creating a new one. It's going to take in, once again, the query embeddings that we're passing in from our API route, the similarity threshold and the match count, and it's going to return a table for us with all of these properties in there for all the results that we get back. So I think that's all we need for now. I'm going to set this to 0.7 again. You know what? I'm going to be more specific and keep it at 0.8. Save that. And let's try this out again. So now, instead of having to search for like Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't want to do this because I'm just going to get like an exact keyword match. So this would be the same as making a regular search. So what I want to do is I want to do, say, Portuguese footballer, right? And let's search for this person. We should get Ronaldo back with any luck, and we do. Great. So this is looking exactly like the initial demo that I did when we started out this project. Let's do space exploration and see if we get Elon Musk back. Let's do that. We get Elon Musk. And lastly, let's do philanthropist. So we should get Oprah back. And we do get Oprah back. So let's do singers. Hopefully we get Beyonce or Adele or someone. Great, we've got two of them. Fantastic. So this is vector search in a nutshell. I hope you find this content useful. Just as a quick recap, we've built a Nextjs project that uses OpenAI embeddings to generate vector embeddings for each of the objects in our dataset. And that's it. So basically, you can extend this to however you want or whatever functionality you want to build with it. And I hope you found this helpful. And let me know in the comments if you like this, and I will try to make more content like this. Thank you, and have a good day.